Many people think that the Rocky Balboa as an action hero, pound for pound, who never gives up and always, the resurrect like a phoenix. But when the Rocky was a, anonymous character, he was kind of incel. I mean, what I'm saying is that you can see that in a Rocky movie that he's not that socially active, very speaking in a very funny way, his own, very peculiar intonation, and also he's kind of, the living, just get by, that just getting by fighting, having a match in a local gyms, at a third class and a boxer, when he comes back home, you can see just what are waiting for him. I mean, that's he just like an incel. I mean, he is being welcomed by only 2 turtles and 1 little goldfishes. That's all he had back then when he was nobody. Here, Rocky's even being really embarrassed by the little girl in the neighborhood. He was just trying to give her advice, even tried to walk her home safely. She was just seeing Rocky that little significance. I mean, never had she considered him as a potential mate, but also the person who's not even worth taking advice from. This was how Rocky was being seen when he was nobody to females, just like a typical incel. I mean, even to a little girl in the neighborhood. We talked about how incel Rocky was. I mean, even little Mary was totally disregarded Rocky as just as nobody. I mean, just they were. She just simply didn't give a damn about Rocky. I mean, no woman would give a damn about Rocky back then when he was really absolutely nobody. I mean, just the down and out, very poor. And a boxer, even without a game, talking about the game, the way Rocky was, the approach, the hitting on his on the Adrian was really beta male way or incel way. I mean, he keep coming by the pet shop where she was walking, and says the white cracks to impress her, over and over again, and the next day comes by again. I mean, over and over again. The next day, after the next day, then it's like she was showing the real desperation and neediness that today's alpha male would never ever shown. What I'm saying is that Rocky's that character is just very adorable. The character that today's society is really missing in today's sick modern society. Rocky's asking Adrian's older brother Paulie how to approach Adrian. You can easily assume that Rocky isn't that experienced in picking up a woman. I mean, maybe never was experienced in picking up a woman. You can easily assume that Rocky, in today's pickup artist terms, is like a chump. I mean, who has not dated woman very much. I mean, not very much. I mean, here maybe he may well be a virgin. I can assume that if he asked her older brother Polly how to pick her up, he could be a virgin. I mean, who's never been experienced in dating women. Adrian was a really innocent female character. I mean, I can easily guess that, pretty much believe that she was a virgin when she met Rocky. I mean, even Polly was encouraging Rocky to hit on her and hook up with her so she will never die alone. You can easily see that, you know, she just never dated anybody before Rocky. I mean, she was that innocent. I mean, there's one thing that we can easily infer why Adrian was a virgin. Rocky was the first man for her. Was that out of frustration, Polly just spat out to Adrian that you slept with the man, the Rocky. I mean, then Adrian rushed inside the door and crying. She took it as some dramatic remark, which means that if Adrian has had some boyfriend before Rocky, and she would have never reacted that way. I mean, crying, rushing inside the room, crying like that. She would never reacted like that. She was definitely that innocent, feminine virgin, which is sick today. The society is truly missing. It's very, very almost impossible to find somebody like Adrian in modern society. When you see the scenes that the first time Rocky was asking out the Adrian, that Rocky was, talking to the door. I mean, it was like the modern days pickup artists who would just encourage you to, just snatch the woman confidently and you just go out with me. That's what the modern day the people would say is much more desirable and it's much more, the manly. But here, Rocky, most humble and most polite way, the conceivable. He was talking to the door, waiting for Adrian's decision, whether she should go out with Rocky or not. I mean, Rocky is the image that you are imagining as of, macho and pound for pound action hero. That's Stallone character usually, the makes out in those movies. But this one, Rocky, was I mean, that's really tender. I mean, adorable. That he was just showing the weaknesses. He was really, I mean, the treating Adrian with respect. That he was waiting Adrian to make decision to go out on a date with him or not. When Rocky took Adrian out on a date, which really impressed me in a great deal, because Rocky was showing himself. He never ever tried to make believe somebody else he wasn't to impress Adrian. Where Rocky to take Adrian to for the first date? The skate rink, the ice rink. Is very unusual that he didn't bother to take her to the fancy restaurant, nor did he bother to rent a fancy car. But he was just showing the way he was. I mean, what's even more the truthful was that when Rocky brought Adrian into his home, he was showing everything that, he he was clearing, showing her inside and out. You know, it was the true love. I mean, from heart with no strings attached. Adrian was finally accepting Rocky. They started kissing. It was pure, the fond of each other from pure, sheer emotion. It's not like there's some condition that, oh, I like this person because of this, because of that. It was never ever like that. They just were accepting each other the way they were. They didn't have anything in doubt them. They knew that both of them had to live right from scratch. I mean, both of them knew that they were not the fancy looking people. It's like liking somebody, as a human. I mean, I know that it's very romantic feelings between them, but it was very, very pure, and it's like there's no reason, and they were just loving one another the way they were. Rocky was grinding out and preparing for the once in a lifetime, the match that Apollo Creed offered to him. That he was even, the beating on in the carcass, and he was, the running up the stairs. He was preparing really hard during that critical moment. One day, Rocky told Adrian that I've never expect to win in the fight. I just want to go the distance. What a truthful moment it was. Rocky has never hidden anything from Adrian. Rocky has never made believe anything to impress Adrian. That's how he was always, to show him in a most open, honest way. The moment of truth, the most climactic moment came after the fight. Rocky didn't see anybody but Adrian. Rocky was just looking for Adrian. He was calling out Adrian's name. Adrian was rushing towards the ring. All the external things, like losing the fight, Rocky even couldn't hear the commentator was asking some questions to Rocky, but Rocky didn't respond to it very much. I mean, because he was just looking for Adrian. That's how they share their love and emotion. Nothing else mattered. And after giving all he had in the ring, after draining all his energy and focus in the ring, Rocky just want to share the moment with Adrian. Nobody else. They just pair bonded on the ring as the couple who trust each other. The absolute trust in each other. This kind of love is totally missing in today's modern society.